Hello and welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Today I have this really lovely little Ferrero Rocher box that holds 3 of the Ambassador's chocolates. I've made this obviously twice already, and this one kind of got sat on and a bit squished, so I made another version. This one uses Daffodil Delight cardstock and some of the Painted Petals DSP. But seeing as they're Ferrero Rochers and they're gold, I thought today I would use the gold cardstock from Stampin. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. It's so shiny and so pretty. My inspiration for this box was the original Ferrero Rocher's box, which you can see I've completely pulled to pieces. And I could have made the original size, but I would have needed a piece of 12x12 cardstock. I didn't want to use a piece of 12x12 cardstock because I'd rather use A4 if I can. So this comes in A4 sheets. So I thought I would cut it down because this box originally held 5 Ferrero Rochers, and that's just a little bit too indulgent, isn't it? So this one holds 3, which I think is quite enough. So with your piece of I need to remember what this is actually called, and I managed to not put my pad on the right page again. So first of all, we need our Simply Scored scoring tool and our piece of gold cardstock, and we're going to insert. Have I given you any measurements yet at all? I don't think have I? This piece of cardstock is 8 1/4 by 6.5 inches, which is 21 by 17 centimetres. The metric measurements are slightly different, and they make a slightly bigger box, but only very, very slightly. So we're going to score, alongside at the top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 6 1/4, and 7 3/4. Which in metric is 1 centimetre, 5 centimetres, 16 and 20. And we're going to rotate it round so that our short side is at the top and score it again at 1/2 inch, oh dear, 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 3 1/2 and 5, which is 1, 5, 9 and 13 centimetres. If you go to my blog, which the link is in the down bar below, actually the link links directly to this blog post and has all the measurements on for this box and for the DSP if you wanted to put DSP on it. So with your bone folder, we're going to score, we're going to fold on all our score lines. The easiest way to do this is to score the longest, narrowest one first. So I love this cardstock. It's a beautiful weight. It's the same weight as all our other cardstock, but it just feels so lovely. So fold and burnish on all our score lines, and oh dear, we've got quite a bit of this box to chop away, because this box, you could make them all up and fold them completely flat for storage. I was thinking wedding favours, or you know, baby shower gifts or something, Mother's Day table gifts when I made this. So we've got, if you lie it in the horizontal position, you've got thin score lines, like thin edges, and then squares, and then a big bit in the middle. What we're going to do is we're going to take away this thin bit at the top, we're going to keep the very middle, I'm going to chop away both the edges. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on both sides. So that's one, and then again on the other side, because it's everything's a mirror image of itself with this box. We're then going to chop up these score lines here on these edges, up both sides, past the first score, up to the second score line. on all the 6 score lines worth. 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So now these 2 top pieces are going to be our kind of lids, and they're going to fold into the box. We want to keep this piece for the time being. We're going to get rid of this whole section and that whole section there. I'm just going to chop those away on both sides. And then I'm going to bring my Simply Scored back in, just because I think this makes it a bit easier. So on our box we've got, if you open one of the sides, we've got these 2 little flaps that help keep the box closed. And to do that, what I've done is I've inserted my cardstock back in to my Simply Scored with the long side at the top, and I'm going to score on these 4 flaps only, and I'm going to score them at 1 5/8. I'm sorry, I don't know what the metric equivalent of that is. I will look it up. Just on those 2 flaps first, and then I'm going to rotate my cardstock around that way and do the same thing. So 1 5/8 on that one, and again on that one, just because it helps us to get equal flaps, equal length flaps. You could just take a guess. And we're going to chop along those score lines that we've just made, which gives us our box. I've got to say, how luscious is this cardstock? I love it so much. So next thing, we're going to take our Project Life by Stampin' Up corner rounder, and we're going to round all the corners on these 2 flaps and then these ones here. And I know there's some people that having problems with the corner rounder. You hold it upside down. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this actually. If you hold it upside down, you can see there's 2 little points either side. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert our cardstock in, and then we're going to line up our cardstock with those 2 edges, and that will then give you a perfect round corner every single time. If you hold it that way up, because we've cut these things by hand, it might not be square, so it doesn't always work. You're better off holding it upside down. So, and then you're thinking, how am I going to get that there? If you fold that one in and fold it round, and then feed it all in, ooh, then you can get it. It will work. And the other side. Just carry on rounding all those corners. So there is our box, and I am just going to take my make a mess, my 1-inch circle punch, and just make a little notch out of just this piece that's got nothing extra on it, just on one side, just as like a little finger hole, just ever so slightly, just like a little sliver in the middle-ish. Oh, hit myself in the face. So then I'm going to use some fast fuse, which I have lost. There it is. Some fast views just along here, and we want to get our adhesive as close to this score line as possible. And then we're going to, if you fold that round and fold the next piece over, it should perfectly just be square and magical. Then, if you, the way we close this box, if you put those two pieces in, and then that one down, and I love that. I love this has happened on video because it's, I can then show you exactly what I've done wrong, and I shall check this side as well. Yes. So when you are, I love bloopers, don't you? When you're cutting by hand, you need to make sure that they are perfectly straight. When you've, you can see on that one, where I've scored that, I've still got some of the score line on, some of that indentation. I just need to take that away, and that will sort out the problem, and it will then shut just beautifully. I'll go re-round those corners. I could say I did that on purpose, but I would be lying. And that shuts beautifully, just like that. And then you've got that lovely finger hold to help get that back in. So I'm going to pop my 3 Ferrero Rochers in, straight in there like that. There. And I've got a little bit of stamping for this one that I haven't had before. So I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock and the Your Perfect Day stamp set, which is wedding themed. And I've got this little stamp here that says, "For the two of you," already pre-mounted onto my block, and some Blackberry Bliss ink. And I'm just going to stamp that. I'm going to punch that out with the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And then I've got a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock and my 1 3/8 circle punch. I'm just going to punch that one out as well. Use a bit of snail onto the back of my Whisper White circle, straight onto my Blackberry Bliss circle, and this will leave ever so slightly just the loveliest little bit of a whisper of a colour. Isn't that really pretty? I just think that's, I've got to say, I've got to give Pootles, Sam, some the credit for this, because I saw this on one of her videos a couple of weeks ago and thought it was so pretty, and then bought the punches. So Sam, you're in trouble again, dear. Again. Sam takes all sorts of stick in my house. She really does. Right, but she's the most fantastic upline. I love her to pieces. So, just one dimensional onto the back of there. Oh, I've taken it back off again. It's always good. Straight onto the back and straight onto that box. Isn't that just so cute? Aren't they lovely? And of course I've taken the Ferrero Rocher. I've only got 5 Ferrero Rochers and the box holds 3. I do apologise. So there is my Ferrero Rocher box. Go over to follow the links in the down bar below and go and like my Facebook page for all updates from me. I post there at least once every day, quite often more. You'll find all the details for all my classes, both in person and virtual over there, and loads of little sneaky peeks into my craft room. So I hope you liked my Ferrero Rocher box, and I shall see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.